What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened. Why you down on the shrooms, Godzilla? Why you gotta be like that? Shrooms are probably one of the least used warden defenses in the game, no doubt. And they're actually quite good, but they've got some real glaring problems. First off, they're fodder targeting. Which means, for example, if we've got an ogre right here, and we've got a goblin right here, they're going to shoot at the goblin. They're not going to shoot at the ogre. Now, a little bit of a hot take here, but in my opinion, I think fodder targeting could be completely removed from the game. We got traps and auras. They're there for a reason. They're there to clear fodder. So, since we're usually, or me personally, I am almost always using traps and auras anyway, fodder is already handled, meaning any defense that is set up for fodder targeting is adding to the clear value of what's already being cleared with traps and auras. Now, the second thing we got with Shrooms is their range is not fantastic. They do get really good upgrade value from range, but that means you need to get to spending that DU on range. You see, if we put Shrooms, say, like right here, they wouldn't even reach the stairs at tier 1. So they do have some range issues. You're going to want to get those upgraded right away. Now, they do also have that high lob. The high lob means there's a solid chance that the enemy that they're targeting is going to be either dead or long gone before the projectile lands. However, Shrooms are still usable. Now, what brought this whole thing up, of course, is the buff beam rune Overdrive. I made the statement in my last video that Overdrive makes just about every defense in the game usable, and oh, it does. So since that got questioned, and we can't not defend the glory of the Shroom, we're going to put the Shrooms to work here in this Alch Labs mixed mode Massacre Hardcore Rifted Lichen King difficulty. Let's go ahead and get started and build it out. So we're going to start off like we normally would. We're going to go with a Aura stack up front, Ensnare, and Electric, but we're going to add in a Strength Drain. Well, why are we going to put a Strength Drain in? Well, we know that the Shrooms are special, or are fodder targeting, which means if an ogre rolls in, it's not going to get targeted until all the other fodder enemies are cleared. So with that in mind, we're going to have to use some walls. Oh yeah, remember these things, y'all? You put these down and it blocks baddies from coming. If you actually give them some support with a Strength Drain aura and a fused buff beam, they do quite well. They really do quite well. So we're going to do just that. We're going to give each one of them a buff beam. These, of course, are the super clock buff beams. So they did just hit that electric aura as well, the first one I placed. However, I am good with that. Let's go ahead and give a little proper protection to these walls with some reflects as well. And oh yeah, we got walls. Now, let's come back here. What else do we need to add in? Well, you know, we could potentially have problem with Sharkin. With that in mind, I think kind of a no-brainer addition is going to be to add in a gas trap. We're just going to put one on one side. Now, hopefully this doesn't come back to bite us. A gas trap over on one side, so any enemy over here will trigger it for the entire lane. We can center it in here, but then it has a little bit suspect coverage on the lanes themselves. And then let's take it one step further. We'll add in an explosive trap over here. Now this explosive trap, of course, is piggybacking on this buff beam and reducing it down to 252% with that rune. Now if we come back here in the back, we're going to do the same thing. Let's just throw down a splody trap and a gas trap. Now we want to super clock this stuff as well, so we're going to give it its own buff beam right there. So that leaves me 40 DU left, and it is time to shroom it up. Let's do it. Let's put root right there in the middle. We want to separate these shrooms out. That way we're giving them all their own buff beam. So let's go with, say, 2 shrooms right here. We'll go 2 shrooms right here. Let's go 2 shrooms over here as well. And what is that? It leaves me 21 left. We can actually go 2 more shrooms. Stay right up on top here. That's going to give me 15. We're going to have enough for our buff beams, as we do want to super clock all of these shrooms. And then we're going to have a little change left over for some reflects as well. So why don't we go with one reflect beam right here, just a generic one for the core. And then we'll give that root a little bit of protection with some reflect beams as well. Now, we know that the range on the shrooms is a little suspect, but they do get really nice value from upgrading. So we're going to put our starting mana into the shrooms, not the buff beams, where, you know, in the old way, we would always upgrade the buff beams first. We're going to dump our upgrades into the shrooms just to increase the range of them. Now, Warden defenses in general get great range value from upgrades, so always upgrade your Warden defenses, any of them that you're using. In fact, we got so much mana left over, we're going to put one more round of upgrades on these. We're not going to get them upgraded all the way, but we're going to give them a nice bit of love. And then we know this Strength Drain Aura is going to be taking some serious work, so we're going to put a couple upgrades on it. Couple of upgrades on that, or one upgrade on that electric, and then let's go one on each on these buff beams and walls. In fact, we'll hit each wall again just to give them a little bit more health. Now, since I've got my Squire in the deck for blockades, I'm going to DPS on the Squire. Let's see what kind of glory these shrooms can rain down. Here we go. Now, fodder targeting, of course, so they're going to spray all over the place. They're going to be hitting spiders. They're going to be hitting all kinds of stuff. Since we got some upgrades on them, though, they are getting up into the pack now and raining down glorious shroomage all over the bads. You see, they hit quite hard. What, 5.8 million? There was a 6.8 million. Let's see what other kind of numbers we get here. There was a 4.8 million, another 5 million plus. Here comes our first ogre. Let's see how this ogre does. Of course, the ogre is going to get a little wall time in. And that comes back around to that fodder enemy targeting. The shrooms are raining it down, though. Ogre taking smacks on the wall, but, you know, we did the right thing. We got a Strength Drain Aura and a buff beam on that wall, so it's not going to die. It's going to sit there for about 1 million years. And the shrooms eventually are going to catch up with the fodder targeting, and they're going to get up in some ogre butts with the shroomage. We got another ogre, Mr. Diagon, coming up and around this way. This guy, of course, is getting slowed like nobody's business here, but he's going to make it around. There we go. Let's see. Shrooms. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shrooms are pounding it out. Now, before we even got the overclock rune, I kind of challenged Aramir as a joke while I was live streaming to do the keep with shrooms. He did the keep with shrooms. We ended up showing it right on the live stream. So, shrooms are usable. Are they the best defense in the game? Well, hell no. Of course they're not. Are they a meta defense? Nah, not even close. But are they usable? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're usable, y'all. Beef Supreme with extra shrooms. They are definitely quite usable. And you see, we're getting a good clear here. Now, 8 minutes. We're almost 9 minutes into the run now. This run is certainly not going fast. We actually got a good bit of RNG with the mobs as well. I think part of that might be that gas trap. Is that gas trap slowing things up too much? It's slowing things up quite a bit, that's for sure. Might want to consider even getting rid of that. And you know, that's 3 DU. That's one more shroom, but let's leave it up here for now. We do want something to crowd control up the Sharkin as they come out. But we're getting through these enemies here. Now, just to keep this video from being 67 years long, let's go ahead and jump on forward until we get to the final wave and then the boss fight. Alright, and here we are at wave 25. Now, just to keep this run all about the shrooms, we've got all of our shrooms full upgraded. Every one of them is up to max now. The leftovers I threw into a couple upgrades on the walls, and then an upgrade or two on that strength drain aura, just to make sure it's going to last. Back here, I think, let's go ahead and throw one upgrade there. Can we get one more upgrade off? Looks like we can. Let's put it on this buff beam to get the traps and auras a little bit bigger range here. And let's see how we do on wave 25 and against the boss. Here it goes. So, Shroomy Mayhem, spraying and spraying. Now, remember, too, you don't have to super clock them. You could get multiple additional shrooms down just by putting them all on one unruined buff beam. Now, of course, they're not going to be quite as glorious, and we want to see the big numbers, right? But yeah, the shrooms are raining it down. So, I think the main point here is this last update brought viability to everything. So if you like to actually play the game, you know, to some people it's just farm the game, use the meta, don't care about anything else. But if you like to actually play and experiment with different things, there is no doubt you should be having an absolute ton of fun with this update, as you know, it just brings tons of diversity and allows you to do just about anything you want. So if that's how you like to play the game, there's no doubt you should be having a whole lot of fun right now. If you want to use shrooms, y'all, use shrooms. You just got to be smart about it and realize the shrooms downside. And, you know, that fodder targeting is kind of a deal breaker for the shrooms. The high arc, is it a deal breaker? It's not really a deal breaker, but it's a definite issue. But as you see, we are raining it down onto all those bads coming up. And the shrooms are getting it done. I mean, when you got something that's dropping 5 million, 7 million bombs in AoE fashion against a whole pack of enemies, oh, it is going to wreck some faces, y'all. There's just no doubt about it. What do we need? We got an ogre here. And you see, when they finally do switch to the ogre, they do just smash it down big time. How'd that wall do? It took very, very little damage, so we just threw some quick repairs off here and there. And we're getting our burn on, courtesy of the shrooms. So, you know, just add shrooms, y'all. Just add shrooms. Now, are shrooms ever going to be anyone's go-to meta defense? Well, like I mentioned, yeah, that's just not going to happen. But they are fun. And fun is why we play games, is it not? So, definitely enjoying the shroomage here. I want to see how well they hold the packs off. Of course, I'm going to be able to burn the mob pretty quick on a Spinning Steel Squire. Burn the Demon Lord, that is. However, I am curious to see how they'll hold off the packs of enemies without me doing any sort of intervention whatsoever. Let's see, we got almost 5,000 mana. Let's drop another one on that. Let's drop one there. We'll get another wall upgrade in. Another buff beam. Yeah, let's just go ahead and dump it right here. Now, the deal here, of course, when the Demon Lord drops, if I stand over here and try to fight the Demon Lord, that's going to be a problem. So we want to face the Demon Lord away from our root and our shroomage and make sure we don't have any devastation issues right there. We're just going to turn them around. Just going to eat the fire because I have lots of health regen. And you see the shrooms are actually pounding it down because they're getting up in this Demon Lord booty. Direct shot, really. Right from behind. So, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Clocking shrooms, y'all. Clocking shrooms. Definitely gets the job done. There is just no doubt about it. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. We'll be live back again tomorrow. So don't forget to swing on back by and join me for some runs. I'm down to only needing one more rune now, and I'm full godly. So still on the grind to get that last one. But thank you all so much, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.